Hello, am I audible? Hello,
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
okay, thank you. So let's start wastewater. So your last class on Hardy Cross method was taken by Kashish Jain. I was busy with one of the project review meeting, so I requested him to take your class. I hope it is okay. It's a good. Is there any feedback on that class? Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start wastewater physiochemical characteristics. What I will do, I will try to explain it on whiteboard. So, so the main feature of wastewater characteristic is presence of solid in wastewater. Though it is like just a fraction of total amount of water, maybe 0.05 to 0.1% of total amount of wastewater, but it is important because it interferes with different treatment process. Also, the solid could be inorganic and organic solid, and organic solid basically which is consumed by bacteria using the oxygen. Okay, so the presence of organic solid in organic matter or organic solid in wastewater actually reduces the dissolved oxygen in wastewater, and the dissolved oxygen reduction will be a problem when such wastewater is disposed of in river or any other water body. So having a lot of organic matter which is using the dissolved oxygen to degrade or decompose the organic metal into harmless compound will cause the reduction in dissolved oxygen of water body, and therefore it will affect the aquatic life. So we are concerned about the solid, whatever, like it is in the form of suspended solid or dissolved solid, inorganic or organic solid, because it interferes with treatment process of wastewater, and also it reduces um, the dissolved oxygen in of the water body if it is disposed of as it is. So now we will learn about the type of solids in wastewater. Let me start with, can you see the whiteboard? I think you should be.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
It's visible. Fine. Thank you. So say we have wastewater sample. Okay. We can, if we evaporate this sample, say 105 degrees centigrade, the whole water will be evaporated and whatever solid will remain, it's a total solid in wastewater. Okay, the other type of solid would be if I used an imhoff cone, IMHOFF CONE. What is this? This is a inverted cone. Okay, we it is graduated in terms of volume, and you feel the water in this cone. After a 2 hour period, the solid which is in water or wastewater will settle down. This whole solid in terms of volume, if we measure in terms of volume, it is known as settlable solid. Settlable solid. Okay, so this is the second type of solid. One is total solid. I have to like I'm just putting it in this way. So all these are the product which are um, in circle. Okay. Then wastewater sample. Say if I filter this sample through a glass fiber filter. Okay. Filter through GFF, glass fiber filter. Okay. Then there might be two possibility. One is some solid will remain on the filter top. Mass on filter. Sorry, my handwriting on this whiteboard is very poor, but I'm speaking at the same time, so maybe it will be easy for you to understand. So then there is a filtrate. So I should have made it in a different way. Now if I evaporate this filtrate and this mass, okay, now again what I am doing, I am evaporating at 105 degree. Same here. So evaporation. Okay, same 105 degree centigrade. So what will happen? It will get dry and it may produce what would be the final outcome from this? The total suspended solid. The final outcome from this would be total suspended solid. Okay, total suspended solid. So all the water or anything which is not suspended will evaporate. Okay, here I will have total dissolved solid. Okay, then further if I heat this at 500 degrees centigrade. Similarly here heating at 500 degrees centigrade in muffle furnace. Then there are two possibilities. One, I will get the material which can be evaporated or which can be vaporized, it will go away and the fixed solid will remain. So maybe I will get what do you say, volatile suspended solid and fixed suspended solid. Here I will get volatile dissolved solid and fixed dissolved solid. This is all what I am doing after heating. I am weighing the same mass which is left after heating. Okay, so this TSS minus FSS will give you VSS. Okay, TSS total suspended minus FSS fixed suspended solid will remain on the filter. Even after heating at 500 degrees centigrade, fixed solid will not be evaporated from the filter. So to TSS minus FSS will give you VSS. Similarly here TDS total dissolved solid minus fixed dissolved solid will give you VDS. Okay, volatile dissolved solid. This both volatile dissolved solid and volatile suspended solid will give you volatile solid, total volatile solid, TVS, total volatile solid. And this two will give you total dissolved solid. Okay, if you sum up this total volatile solid and total dissolved solid, you will get total solid. Okay, which you have here. Okay, so this should match with, if I will just sum up these two, I will get total solid. Okay, so this is the type of solids which may be present in wastewater. Is that clear? Any one of you can reply. Is that clear? Is there any question, please? So here I have written, means I copied it from Garg's book. So this is written here also, but I have tried to explain it in a flow chart way, so it's easy to understand and remember. Metcalfe idea. It's from Metcalfe idea. I think it's clear. So there is no question. Yeah. Is there any question? So, okay. Who is for? Okay. Now let me. Okay, now his screen is visible, right? So other physical characteristics are turbidity. Turbidity means like the water will will look like it's a hazy, because it is like the suspended and colloidal particles are present in water, right? Color, taste, and odor. We know that the color. So if the color of wastewater is say gray or light brown, then it indicates that the wastewater is fresh. However, if the color is dark black color, then the wastewater is very old and it is almost decomposed. Temperature of wastewater is generally close to the atmospheric temperature, but in general the temperature of wastewater is little higher than the temperature of water supplied, okay, because of the presence of impurity and the energy generated by various reaction which is going on in the inside the wastewater. Sometimes some reactions may also cause some kind of energy in wastewater. So that temperature of wastewater is little, very like slight difference, 1 or 2 degree difference compared to water supplied. Conductivity of wastewater would be there, and like if you want to know the detail, you can go through the Gurk's book. I have not. I think I taught the conductivity in water. Did I? Just tell me, otherwise I will prepare something on conductivity next time. I have not prepared this time. Did we learn anything about the conductivity in water? Hello? Hello?
I think you haven't discussed it in class.
Okay, we haven't discussed. Okay, so next time I will try to prepare this for the class. I did not prepare this time. I thought maybe I have taught it, or maybe like it just did not come in my mind. So I will do it. Okay. Chemical characteristics. I think most of the chemical characteristics we have also gone through in water. pH, the negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration. So it's a indicator of whether the wastewater is acidic or alkaline or whatever, right? So alkalinity, we have already gone through alkalinity in water chapter, when we were learning the water characteristics. Chloride is one of the chemical which is present in water as well as wastewater. In wastewater, chloride should not be more than 120 ppm. This is what it says, like before disposal of wastewater to river, the chloride should reduce and it should not be more than 120 ppm. However, like in water which is supplied, sometimes the chloride up to 250 mg per liter is permissible. Okay, so the drinking water, sometimes chloride is even permissible up to 250 mg per liter. But chloride is generally in wastewater. It may not be more than 120 mg per liter domestic sewage, if it's a domestic sewage. But if it's a industrial discharge, like the discharge from ice cream plant, meat salting, etc., when we try to preserve the meat using the salt, then chloride content would be very high, and in that case we have to reduce the chloride content before disposal to the river body. Nitrogen content. Nitrogen is very important. Nitrogen could be present in different form. If the nitrogen is present as ammonia, that means the sewage is fresh sewage. It not has means decomposition has not been started. It has not started yet. Okay, so ammonia, presence of ammonia indicates fresh sewage. Then there is another form, albinoid nitrogen. Albinoid nitrogen is actually organic nitrogen, and it indicates that sewage is little old and the nitrogen is present in the form of organic matter, but the decomposition is not started. Okay, so it has not decomposed. That is what it says. Okay, then third form is nitrite. The presence of nitrite, NO2 2 minus, right? The presence of nitrite indicates that the decomposition is started. So it's a little decomposition is going on. Decomposition of organic matter is started. Then the final form is nitrate, NO3 minus. If the nitrogen is present in the form of nitrate, that means the decomposition is over, the sewage is stable. Okay, it's a stabilized. The presence of nitrogen in sewage is objectionable, but it is more objectionable in the water. And I don't remember if I have discussed this. In water, if the nitrogen is present as nitrate and its quantity is above 45 mg per liter, 45 mg per liter, then there is a possibility of nitrogen poisoning in infants. Okay, so in blue baby disease or blue, not it's not blue baby. I don't remember. It's a blue baby disease only. Yes, blue baby disease. So blue baby disease is it is called, and it is poisonous for infants. So what happens if nitrate is present in water? Then once this water is taken, or we drink that water, like baby drinks that water, in baby's stomach there is a possibility of nitromonas to 1 minute. I will just exactly tell you the type of bacteria that form inside the infant's stomach. Let me just read it. So actually I forgot the name. Okay, nitrate reducing bacteria. That is, I think, nitromonas bacteria. So, nitrate reducing bacteria may form inside the stomach because the acidity stomach inside the stomach is lower in case of infants. Okay, so that nitrate reducing bacteria actually reduce the nitrate to nitrite, and nitrite is have very much affinity towards the hemoglobin. The affinity towards hemoglobin is greater than oxygen, so it combines with the hemoglobin and replaces the oxygen, which is dangerous for the babies. So that is called blue baby disease. The baby turns into, like, their skin color turns into blue, and there may be death because of that. So this is very important. The presence of nitrogen in water or wastewater is very important. Wastewater also, nitrogenous compound takes more time. If the nitrogen containing organic compounds are available in wastewater, then it takes longer time to decompose and consumes like oxygen in river body, and therefore they reduce the oxygen of the river body. Other metallic constituents or other constituents like if there is like heavy industries, metals like Pb, lead, right, cadmium, chromium, nickel, they may also come in the wastewater, and they are totally objectionable. Dissolved oxygen. Okay, this is very important property of wastewater. Before disposing the wastewater in river body, we need to make sure that it should contain minimum amount of dissolved oxygen so that it will not contaminate, or it will not actually eat the dissolved oxygen of the river body. Okay, and that permissible limit is given. So here you can see it is written that because it is only source of respiration in aquatic life, because the dissolved oxygen is used by the aquatic life, right? Thus maintaining a minimum level of DO which is 4 ppm for the fresh water is utmost important. So when we are disposing the wastewater into river body, minimum 4 ppm DO should be maintained after the wastewater is mixed in the river body, minimum. And it is desirable to have higher amount so that the aquatic life will not be destroyed. Um, Also, DO is the only source of survival for aerobic microorganisms, and aerobic bacteria are responsible for consumption of organic matter in the water body, and therefore converting them to harmless compound. Okay, converting the harmful compound to harmless compound. So therefore microorganisms which is like aerobic microorganisms, for their survival DO should be there. Okay. What are the factors that influence DO? Solubility of oxygen in water, and solubility of oxygen in water will definitely depend upon the pressure and temperature at a certain time, and concentration of impurities in water. That all these four things the four factors can influence the DO level in wastewater or water. Saturated dissolved oxygen. The maximum quantity of DO that can be remained mixed in water at a particular temperature is saturated dissolved oxygen. The method of detection is Winkler's method or using DO. DO meter is an advanced way of determining the dissolved oxygen. Winkler's method is a very conventional titration method in which the different reagents are used to convert oxygen into nascent oxygen. Okay, so different reagents are used, and at the last, like H2SO4, like sulfuric acid is used, so that O2 will produce nascent oxygen, and this nascent oxygen is responsible for converting the potassium iodide to iodine. Okay, so it produces the iodine. That change in color indicates like how much oxygen is there, how much dissolved oxygen is there. Nowadays, most important method, or most, like you can say, useful method which are being followed is to know the oxygen demand of wastewater by knowing the biological oxygen demand, chemical oxygen demand, or maybe total organic carbon. Theoretical oxygen demand is something which is not used for wastewater until the composition of organic compounds present in water is known. For example, if I am trying to find out the oxygen demand of wastewater which is coming from a industry making glucose, right? Where I know that the composition of wastewater, it will have the organic matter which will contain mostly glucose C6H6O6. In that case, I can stoichiometrically determine the oxygen requirement to convert glucose to CO2 and H2O, harmless compounds. However, in wastewater, in case of wastewater, we generally do not know the composition of organic matter. Therefore, there are like these two very common methods are to determine the biochemical oxygen demand or chemical oxygen demand. Biochemical oxygen demand is basically a routine test used for all kind of wastewater before disposing of in the water body. Now I will tell you this organic content. You can just go through it, how much protein is there, how much carbohydrates. I'm not reading it. Okay, so the most advanced way, if there is a trace concentration of organic matter, very little concentration of organic matter, then gas chromatography and mass spectrometry can be used, but we are not learning that in this class. So biochemical oxygen demand, the only means one of the routine test. In this test, what we do, we we actually dilute. I will explain it in the next one. Let me just go through these points. So it's a biochemical oxygen demand is used as a measure of quantity of oxygen required by the microbes for the oxidation of biodegradable organic matter. So as I told you, the organic matter which is consumed by aerobic bacteria, any biodegradable organic matter, they are called biodegradable organic matter, and they are converted into harmless compound. The oxygen demand of wastewater is exerted by three classes of material: carbonaceous organic material, oxidizable nitrogen derived from nitrate, ammonia and other. So organic nitrogen, ammonia, nitrate, all these compounds, any of these compounds, they are also come in the like biochemical oxygen demand. So if the oxygen is used for conversion of this organic nitrogen or ammonia or nitrate into other compounds, that is also a biochemical oxygen demand. Then chemical reducing compound like Fe2 plus, SO3 minus, sulfide, which are oxidized by dissolved oxygen. For domestic sewage, nearly all the oxygen demand are carbonaceous oxygen demand and are determined by BOD. Okay. So in domestic sewage, generally we do not find like Fe2 plus or SO3 2 minus, such kind of reducing compounds. So mostly in domestic sewage, the carbonaceous organic material are the main component, and the oxygen required to degrade those organic matter is known as like oxygen demand of the sewage and determined as a BOD. Why BOD determination? To estimate the approximate quantity of O2 required for, so this is already I think I have told you. Now, what is BOD? So, as we have seen that BOD, biological oxygen demand, will include the oxygen demand of carbonaceous material, nitrogenous material, not nitrogenous or organic matter, and some reducing compound. So here this curve is showing that in first stage, which is like within 5 to 8 days, whatever oxygen is consumed by bacteria to degrade the carbonaceous organic matter is generally known as BOD5. Okay, so we determine the oxygen demand after 5 days of incubation period, that is BOD5, and it basically indicates the oxygen requirement of organic matter, carbonaceous organic matter, to be converted into harmless compounds. The after 5 to 8 days, generally the nitromonas or nitrogenous bacteria grow, because their growth rate is slow, so they grow only after 5 to 8 days, and they consume the oxygen to convert the nitrate into nitrite into nitrate and so on. Organic nitrogen is decomposed, and the compounds are degraded and the harmless compounds are formed. So that is, we generally, when we talk about the routine test, we talk about BOD5. So the oxygen demand after 5 days of incubation. Now, how do we do the biochemical oxygen demand test in laboratory? So, what we do, we take a small amount of wastewater sample, we dilute the sample with like distilled water, which has like high amount of dissolved oxygen. So, it's a pure water, generally 8 ppm or oxygen DO would be there in that water. We dilute it, we know the proportion of, or in terms of volume, the proportion of wastewater sample and the water used for dilution, so that the ratio of that will give us the dilution factor. So volume of diluted sample divided by volume of undiluted sewage sample is actually dilution factor. And then we incubate it. So first, like, we determine the DO, dissolved oxygen, of this mixture on first day or 0 day, you can say, right? And then we keep it for incubation for 5 days at 20 degrees centigrade. Okay, and after 5 days we again measure the DO of the solution mixture, and the difference between the DO before, after and before will give us the dissolved oxygen consumed. So initial DO will be high, right? Because that time dissolved oxygen is not consumed by bacteria. After 5 days, like, the bacteria will consume the dissolved oxygen to convert the organic matter into harmless compound, and then DO will be lower. So the difference between initial and final DO will give us the BOD after 5 days multiplied by dilution factor. Uh, Sometime we have to use the seeding in BOD test. What is seeding? In order to increase the rate of degradation, organic matter degradation by bacteria, we need to add some bacteria. Okay, some bacteria which we can take from primary settling tank or maybe activated sludge process. So that like extra amount of bacteria which we add in order to increase the rate of you can say degradation process of organic matter is known as seeding of wastewater sample. And in that case, this is how the BOD can be calculated. D1 is the DO of diluted sample immediately after dilution in mg per liter. D2 is DO of the diluted sample after 5 days, okay, 120 hours in mg per liter. B1 is DO of the seeded control sample. So whatever seed we have taken from primary settling tank or ASP, activated sludge process, that is the DO of that sample is known as B1, and then B2 is the DO of the seeded control sample after 5 days incubation. Okay, and P is the decimal volumetric fraction of the sample used, which is volume of undiluted sample divided by volume of diluted sample. Okay, this is how we can calculate the BOD5 of sample if we are using the seeding. Can you just wait for 2 minutes? I have some. Just wait. Actually, my 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so now in order to determine the BOD at like or dissolved oxygen demand at any time t, the simple first order reaction is assumed, and in that case the rate of BOD oxidation, means oxidation of organic matter or whatever you can say in that way also, is modeled based on the assumption that the amount of organic material remaining at any time t is governed by the first order reaction. This can be mathematically represented in the form of differential equation. So LT is equal to amount of organic matter present at time t, and dLT upon dt is equal to minus k into LT. Now, like just rearrange this equation and integrate it from L0, which is initial amount of organic matter, to LT, the amount of organic matter after time t, and time is from 0 to t, and you will find this equation. This is very simple derivation. I will not go through one like step by step. So if it's a base 10, then this will be 2.303 will come, and this all you know, right? So generally we give like LT is equal to L0 into 10 raised to minus KD, where this K is actually is K divided by 2.303. Okay, L0 is ultimate BOD, means total BOD, total biological biochemical oxygen demand. Okay, KT could be a function of means KT can be determined as like K20, means the constant at 20 degrees centigrade into 1.047 raised to T minus 20. So this is a simple formula, and this has been used here in this example. You can go through the example. Very simple examples are here. Okay. Uh, this is one of the homework. You can solve it. Okay. Now, chemical oxygen demand. So what we have learned as a BOD is the oxygen demand of biodegradable organic matter, which can be easily biodegraded by bacteria. However, there are organic matter which cannot be biodegraded by bacteria, so they remain in the wastewater, and they will consume the oxygen. Okay, and those organic matter can be determined only if we oxidize or we use very strong oxidizing agent. Okay, and oxidize that organic matter and convert them to harmless compound. So that like addition of chemical, because we are adding the chemical, this is known as chemical oxygen demand. The COD, um, okay, that test is also sometimes it is also known as dichromate test, because potassium dichromate is one of the very strong oxidizing agent which is used in this particular test. COD minus ultimate means initial biological oxygen demand. The total biological oxygen demand is known as the demand, or whatever it would be equivalent to non biodegradable organisms. So COD, the organics which can be biodegraded using the chemical. Ultimate BOD, the organics, it is equivalent to organics which can be biodegraded, right? Without any addition of any chemical, just using the bacterial activity. So the difference of these two will give us the non-biodegradable organics. Is there any question? Okay, so theoretical oxygen demand, as I told you, this is not basically for wastewater. Theoretical oxygen demand is it can be determined only if we know the composition of organic matter in wastewater. So say so it's a kind of stoichiometric oxygen demand of the sample. So, for example, we know that the wastewater contains only, say, glucose, maybe only sucrose, or maybe glucose and sucrose in some quantity. Then we can determine, like we can put the reaction, and we can like balance the reaction and know how much oxygen is needed to convert these compounds into harmless compound CO2 and H2O. and that oxygen demand can be given as the theoretical oxygen demand of the sample. So here are some of the problem. One problem is given here, right? Glucose and benzene, and you can see this problem. Uh, so this is the last problem. Do you have any question? Okay, I would like to say that some of you, I don't remember the name because I don't see who is talking that time, is probably I forgot. But some of you might may require like scan of some of the pages of Girk's book. See, it is difficult for me to scan all the pages of any chapter because now the institute is closed. I do not have TAs in campus, and if you really want some of the pages which are like unsolved question and all, I will see if I can do it. Otherwise, it's really difficult for me. Didn't you find the book in bookstore? The book is very cheap. It's a 250 rupees uh, per know there are two volumes, so per volume. If you take the second hand book, I am also using the second hand book. So any of you like do not have material, or I think even the PPT is enough for you because it's an open book exam. Whatever information is given in Garg book, you will find in internet. So do you still need like a scanned copy of any material which you think is not available in internet and you need it? Just be open up. Okay, I think nobody is talking, so I assume that you have enough material and you can go through it during your exam. Okay, one quiz and one assignment is they are left, and I think assignment, as I told you, we will give on 1st of May. Quiz I can take any day. Okay, so any day when I have a class, or if like maybe I will announce. So it could be a surprise or maybe announced test. Okay. But generally, because I already declared it's a surprise, so I would like it to be surprise test only. I know there is a concern of Dean that, but that policy I have declared in the beginning, so I do not want to change it because it will change the whole marking or evaluation policy. No.
Ma'am, because I think these like the interim provisions that they provided were binding on all courses, and one of that was that attendance for classes
Okay,
between.
so attendance we are not considering now. Don't worry about the attendance. As Dean said, we will not consider the attendance. We will use that 5 marks in major exam. So major exam will include the 5 marks.
Okay, ma'am.
But quiz I cannot demolish now. Means I cannot say no.
What about that best of two quizzes?
That will remain best of two quizzes regardless of attendance. Whatever one best quiz you will have, that will be added in your marks. Means I am not going to see the attendance, but say if you have 10 marks in one quiz and 14 marks in other quiz, I will consider 14 marks whether your attendance is 90% or not. So you have two chance and you can make one at least out of two.
So now
So
major will be
whoever
of
have
45 marks.
huh?
Will the major now be of 45 marks?
Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, but how it's gonna be fair for those students like who were continuously present in the lectures
I
from the very
know, but
beginning?
you can ask this question to Dean. I can't say anything. See, this
Wait,
is
ma'am.
not my decision to abort the attendance policy. It's institute decision to abort the attendance policy. So I can't do anything, right? You should not make me accountable for each and every decision which institute take.
Ma'am,
Right.
the dean in his mail has said that the policy is removed for 7 days from 22nd of April to 30th of April. And those 7 days shouldn't be accountable in the evaluation. That's what
Let
written in
me
the email.
see. I talked to my TA, and the TA is saying like because of the COVID situation, Dean is saying attendance policy should be
No,
aborted.
no, no, ma'am. That is not the case.
Okay. See, the problem is I was on almost on leave, uh, like 2 3 weeks. Like the last week when I taught you from my hometown. My father was not well, so I was in my hometown. I took the classes only. I informed the HOD that I cannot do more, but I will just teach because I want to finish the course. So that is why I am like unaware of the mails which came in between these 2 weeks, last 2 week, right? When I came here, I got the project review committee meeting. Suddenly I got that notice, so I got busy in that, like making the presentation law. So I did not see that email. uh, Means this is what I can say honestly, that I did not see Dean's email. I inquired by from TA, and they said this is what. So can you, do you remember what is the date of that email? So I will check the email and I will make the decision. Any of you know, remember the date of that email when Dean said about the attendance or surprise quizzes or
I'll
whatever?
just forward that email to you, ma'am, after this class in a minute or two.
Okay,
It's
thank you.
on 21st April.
And ma'am, just one suggestion, just one general suggestion. So as you are already ready to include that 5 marks into the major, right? So
Yes.
what you can do is you can give us two options. For example, if I already have more than 90% attendance, then I
Hmm.
don't then I don't need to like attempt that extra 5 marks portion in the major exam. You can give a
Okay, I
separate.
can think about that. I can think about that. So you will not lose your effort. Okay, I will think that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we have attended all the classes.
this is good suggestion. I like it. Okay. Is there any other suggestion or any other comment?
It's fine, yes. That 5 marks is somewhat allowance in major exam for who had good attendance.
What did you
That
say,
was my,
Pooja? I
that
did not
I'm
hear
saying
you.
that 5 marks is, you can allow that 5 marks as bonus. Means like if they had lose somewhere, if major exam is for 45, but you evaluate it for 40 for those who have greater than 90% attendance.
Okay.
That would be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I will announce that. Yeah, this is a good suggestion. Is there anything else? Okay.
And the quiz will be just one best quiz out of two for everyone, right?
Yeah, that is
Okay.
what I'm thinking. Because see, there are many students. They are saying because of the COVID, because of the problem, like COVID problem in their family, they couldn't
Yes, ma'am.
attend the
I
class.
have, I have attended all the classes too, but yes, ma'am, several people have problems. I had problems in my family
Yeah,
too.
I know this situation is very, you can say, critical nowadays. Like in Delhi and everywhere, we are hearing about severe problems due to COVID, and so I take that suggestion, and like I will just consider one best quiz out of two. So be present in all the classes now onward, and one of the class will be the quiz. Okay, in one of the class I will take the quiz. Now do not do any kind of uh, be present. That is what I can say. Try your best to be present. Okay, so that is all. Okay, thank you.
Ma'am,
Mm. Yes.
ma'am, you could announce the quiz like just the day before.
Uh,
So it would be almost a surprise quiz because people wouldn't have time to prepare, but they would at least know that there is a quiz so that they
Let me think about that. Okay, so I see all this suggestion you are giving. Sometimes what happens, I consider the suggestions, but then in feedback form they write against that suggestion, though I want to help you, but it sometimes it goes against me. So that is why I just do not want to change the policy suddenly, that is my experience in last 10 12 years. Sometimes to help the student
But
I
ma'am,
change
the
the
policy
policy.
suggested by Dave isn't it in compliance with what the dean has said?
What?
Ma'am, the policy suggested by Dave isn't it in compliance with what the dean has said?
This is one what you were saying about surprise quizzes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me, that is why, so Rahul is going to send me the email or just forward the email from Dean. I will go through the email and I will decide. Okay, so I would like to help you, really I want to help you, because this is very you can say bad situation. We are away from the campus, we are not having like physical participation in class. There are like more kind of depressive environment all around, so I want to help you, but just I do not want to want some of the you to take advantage and write something in feedback which is absolutely wrong. Just because they did not get marks they write something which is bad. So that is my concern. Okay, I will see the mail and I will decide. Okay.
Ma'am, sorry, are you going to consider today's attendance?
No, I am not going to consider the attendance. But I have downloaded the attendance in case there is any, because if there is any kind of query from dean or any like in the later stage, I will see what the attendance was.
Okay, ma'am,
I'm
thank
just
you.
downloading it and keeping it for my record.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for class. Bye.